Thank you for staying with us. It's journalist Hangouts. Now, it's campaign season in Nigeria, so sliding among politicians is rife. The vice presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Kashim Shettima, says fixation on the age and health of the party's presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, is mischievous. At a banquet in honor of President Muhammadu Buhari in Lagos, Shettima said concerns about the age, identity, and health status of Tinubu are uncalled for. He insisted that Tinubu is not preparing for the Olympics, but governance that thrives on superior ideas. Let's share the moment with you.
There is this mischievous fixation on Asiwaju's health and age. We are not urging Nigerians to turn down critical assessments of their leaders, but redirect them to look at the larger picture. We are not preparing for the Olympics, but an institution that thrives on the superiority of ideas and established track records. Today, our leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, commissioned the Immortal Rice Mill. This is the largest rice mill in Africa and the third largest in the world, producing 2.8 million bags of 50 kg rice per annum. But Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of landmass, 3,577 square kilometers. But the beauty of the Lagos idea is that it provides an avenue for national cohesion, because the Immortal Rice Mill is a product of a venture between the government of Kebbi State and the government of Lagos State. Nigeria has a coastline of 850 kilometers, covering 8 states. The single largest investment in this country is the $25 billion Dangote refinery, the single largest single train refinery in the world, covering 1,000 hectares of prime land, bigger than Victoria Island, producing 3 million metric tons of fertilizer per annum, 1 million metric tons of polypropylene, and processing, refining 650,000 barrels of oil per day. It's because of the enabling environment, the welcoming environment that Asiwaju provided here in Lagos that made it possible for Asiwaju, that made it possible for Alhaji Aliko Dangote to site his refinery in Lagos. He could have sited it in Ondo, in Ogun, in Rivers. There are 8 states along the coastline, but he opted for Lagos because of the quality of ideas provided by the template established by Bola Tinubu. And the MRS lubricant, MRS is owned by my brother from Kano. It's because of the enabling environment created by Asiwaju and his own team that we are here to celebrate. I want to commend the governor of Lagos State for strictly observing the template and working on the template and transforming Lagos. When Asiwaju became the governor of Lagos State, you and I know that the fear of Lagos to an average northerner was the beginning of wisdom. Many were skipping coming to the law school fundamentally because of the fear of Lagos. Lagos was a super slum. I believe the Attorney General of the Federation can give better testimony to this my statement. Lagos was a slum, a super slum. But because of the quality of this man's ideas, Lagos is now the third largest economy in Africa. From 600 million, Lagos government is now generating 61 billion naira every month as the internally generated revenue, and Lagos is projected to be the third largest economy by the end of the decade. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to celebrate Lagos. I want us to celebrate Lagos. I want to urge Nigerians, irrespective of differences in political affiliations, religious persuasions, tribal or sectional backgrounds, to look at the larger picture. President Buhari, by the quality of his leadership, by creating the enabling environment for Asiwaju to emerge as the presidential candidate of the APC, to me, was the highest point of his leadership. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the President deserves a standing ovation from all of us for this quality of leadership that he has provided to this nation. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my remarks. I have taken up a lot of your time. But the Nigerian electorate is much more sophisticated than what some pretentious politicians are making us out to look like. Next month's election is a watershed election in the history of this country. The ability, as I have always said, the ability to sell bottled water in a saturated market, or the capacity to collect excise duties, doesn't make one an expert in economics. In the same vein, the ability to hawk alcoholic beverages imported from South Africa doesn't make one an expert in how to run a modern economy. I will urge you all to vote for the one that will sustain the legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari, for someone who has the integrity, who has the character, who has the skill set to catapult this nation to a higher pedestal. Thank you so much for listening, and may God bless us all.
Thank you very much, sir, for that inspiring speech.
Kashim Shettima. I wonder where to start, but the crux of the matter is that Bola Tinubu is not running for the Olympics medal.
Yes.
And that the requirement is
not Usain Bolt.
But okay, let's even talk
Neither
about.
is he a long distance runner like the Ethiopians.
Let's talk about even the fitness. Talking about fitness, I have friends that with their crew and everything, and I know their routine. You know that every day because of the work we have to do and the number of states they have to shuttle on a daily basis. A man that is not fit.
The way
What do you mean?
the way Asiwaju drives the people around him. Look at Faleke's face now. Compare it to what it looked like 2 years ago.
Wow.
It is the evidence of the flogging of his body.
Work.
When you flog your body
After the primaries, I thought they were going to just relax
the
and
way Asiwaju and others are flogging their bodies, there is no way that it won't take its toll. I think it was Kwankwaso that even advised Asiwaju to slow down. Kwankwaso will be shocked that more than
After
2
that
months
time.
after he gave the advice, the intensity of his campaign is even higher than that time. You can see him every day going, sometimes 3 different events. One will go to bed at 12 midnight, he will say he doesn't want to see people. Some will still come at 2 a.m. The same man who said, I don't want to see people, his security men and others are ready to obey him. But he's still the same man who will say, let that person come in. This is Asiwaju for you. He's been used to it. I was discussing him with someone. That person said, well, maybe because he's not as beefy as some of us. He literally has no weight. He's like Ryan Giggs. The same weight, many years down the line, the same weight. Those ones can take their bodies around a lot more effectively than the rest of us. This is a fact. I don't have to be a physician to know that. But at least a bit of knowledge about the physiology of the human body will tell you that for those people, it's a lot, general well-being. Carrying that kind of weight also promotes general well-being. That is a fact. So it helps. For him, it really helps. And this is something that is being used to. My boss, Brother Nonoga, and some of the staff who worked under me, like Musba Razak, Femi Adepoju, will remember that one day we went to interview Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu at Isaac John, his house in Isaac John. We got there about 9 p.m. They didn't open the gate for us to see him. And Bayo Nonoga was coming in. And he said, you people are outside? Why? Who did this? Then he complained, and then they allowed us in. I led the interview. We interviewed him for 2 uninterrupted hours. That interview ended around 2:30 a.m. And there were still about 8 commissioners with their files in their hands waiting to see him. I'm sure some of them are watching. They will probably remember this day. But me, I didn't forget. I was wondering.
What kind of life is this?
At 2:30 a.m.
That this man will still see these people. So when does he go to bed? So those who are thinking, how is he able to do all these rallies and all that? It's something that is being used to. Because I asked one of the people who had worked with him for more than 20 years, and he said maybe his body had just been accustomed to working in that manner. And that's why when the Kwankwaso advised him to slow down several months ago, he didn't slow down.
Double the work rate.
In fact, he doubled the extent of the work. We were thinking today that there will not be that rally
In Abia.
in Benue. You know, there was a judgment ordering them to do fresh primary in 11 local governments.
Yes, for the
well, we've been told that,
governorship candidate.
that in spite of that judgment, that campaign will go on. At worst, they will not hand over the flag to the governorship candidate, but the campaign will go on. This is what is going on. People are saying what they like. So those who are body shaming people, talking about people's health, mocking people.
It was the subject matter before 2015 for President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
That is what I wanted to
Look
say.
at Muhammadu Buhari today.
You know, in 2015, I've said it before on this program, some people believed that Bola Tinubu supported Buhari to be president because they know that he's going to die and Asiwaju will become the president.
That was the permutation.
That was the permutation.
The
But
same
today,
conspiracy
so
theory
when
today.
people continue to,
You are
not a medical doctor, you are not God,
You are not God.
you are pontificating over another man's health. I mean, you remember in the Second Republic, there are many people who spoke about the death of Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Zeke of Africa.
Many of them died.
They died before him.
Demanding.
Yes. RBK Okafor
So,
died before him.
I mean, so
It was RBK Okafor
That-
died before him.
Exactly.
K.O. Mbadiwe died before
before
him.
him.
They were the ones who carried a newspaper advert that the man was dead.
so
And they died before him.
when people talk about
We don't have control over it.
you are not a
You are not
medical
God.
doctor.
It's God who has the power
You
over
have
life and
never
death.
moved near him. People who only see somebody on TV and they will be pontificating that it's not well. It is not in anybody's hand. If the Yoruba will say alara laro ron, what is your own? I mean, the man is not complaining. Why are you complaining? So I think it is even late in the day to fix yourself on this.
Honestly, but it will continue to be. It will continue to be a
it's the
factor
weapon.
in our
Of
election.
course.
Yes.
It's a normal
It's the weapon in the hands of some people.
Yeah.
That's
It's
their
a
own
normal
way of
thing.
trying to make it look like, oh, he staggers when he's walking. Absolute falsehoods.
Can't see him dancing.
Somebody who is dancing. When they campaigned in Kano, and this is there's verifiable evidence for this. When they went to Kano, it took them 2 hours to move from government house to the venue of the rally because of the large crowd. And he was standing throughout for 2 hours. Then he stood for another 2 hours at the rally venue.
Rally ground.
And that's somebody that you are giving us the impression that is close to his death. I mean, there's a limit. The campaign should be focused on who can deliver. What can they do for our people? Because all of this talk about, oh, this person is sick, this person is...
Because I was about bringing you to Shettima's comment and how Lagos, some people will tell you that, oh, are you saying this is father of Lagos, this. But a lot of people don't know that it all started in 1999. That look, what he described as Lagos in 1999 is true.
The truth is, You may hate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but you cannot simply blot
His contribution.
his contributions to the greatness of Lagos. We are not involved in the debate as to who is the founder of Lagos, who is the founder of modern Lagos. We are involved in a debate about verifiable and physical developments that we can see, that we can relate to. You know, if there is an argument, I can say, okay, I know how this place used to be. You know, this was the person who did this, this was the person who did that. Lagos has been blessed with a host of good governors.
Focused.
And if
No doubt about it. Somebody
can't-
laid the foundation.
And if you
for
can't
that.
produce a successor after everything you've done, it will just the person will just come.
How can you?
It's not only
The
to
people can
produce
produce successors who cannot even raise people. It is testament to their own lack of capacity and poor
Management,
grounding in politics. Because look, you've got to be able, and it's not a Nigerian thing alone. You've got to be able to raise people. Because you are not going to be there
that's the
forever.
essence of
If you are a bank MD
leadership.
and you cannot raise people,
Who will
yes, people that even if they work
Share your
somewhere else
vision.
and people
People
will see
will know
clearly
that,
that
no,
they are good enough,
carry out your
then
vision.
you have failed.
You have failed.
People will leave. The other day we were in the UK. One of the banks took us to UK on a course when I was in the news magazine, and they were telling us that look, some of our management staff are here today. If we are involved in a crash, 10 of us involved in a crash, and we all die, we know the next person who will be MD. There is even not going to be a competition.
because they have already grouped
There
them
is
and
yes,
they know
and there is a
Succession
succession structure that cannot be violated by death or anything for that matter. So this, you must be able to raise people. I look at Lagos, whether it was Fashola's time or Asiwaju's time or Ambode's time, there are individuals that, even when they talk, we know we were talking about a commissioner here under Fashola, how they went to one of the Asian countries, and immediately he finished delivering a paper, they gave him forms that he should naturalize, he should become a citizen. So these things happen. You must be able to raise leaders. Who are the people that you have raised? If you cannot, if you are a leader and you cannot
you
raise
cannot
leaders,
point to-
that means you are a selfish leader.
Yeah.
Something is
You
wrong.
must be
point to
able
people
to
you have
raise
raised.
people
Yeah.
who can succeed you, who can ensure that we do not even miss you, no matter the situation. So in Lagos, we can say that Lagos is in a good place. We can say that Lagos has found a way to produce leaders. And it's almost like Lagos is on autopilot now, because the structures are there that engender
All you just
real
need.
growth and development, and we are all happy.
just work
We are
on
all
it.
happy for it. So this is the thing.
Okay, to Kashim Shettima. Kashim Shettima talked about Dangote refineries in Lagos. He talked about, the deep
marriage.
decision and everything. And when you want to look at it, what they've been able to, successive administration have been able to achieve in Lagos, it's something that can be replicated in the country.
Yes. We're talking about the prosperity of Lagos. If Lagos is generating 61 billion as internally generated revenue, that is huge. That is massive. It's a state that can stand on its own. It's a state that will prosper even without allocation from the center. And don't forget,
It did before.
yes, don't forget that even now, with the quantum of business that will happen at that Lekki corridor,
That axis.
the Lagos stands to make even more money. When Dangote refinery comes on stream, they will pay taxes.
Workers will pay.
Vehicles coming to do business in the refinery would also pay taxes.
Employ people.
Taxes will be paid at the port. So Lagos has the potential to even move from 61 billion in the coming years to maybe 100 billion. You know, because I was listening to the Minister of FCT saying that they now feel that a time will come when they can challenge Lagos because they looked at their idea from FCT last year. It was quite impressive.
Really?
Yes.
The number of business activities,
Yes,
hotels,
quite impressive.
Yeah.
And they were saying, look, a time will come when we can actually rival Lagos. But that is a pipe dream. With what we are seeing, with this port coming on stream, with the Dangote refinery, you know, the 7th largest refinery in the world. Those who say it's the largest refinery, they are lying. 7th largest refinery in the world. That is what it is. 650,000 barrels a day. That is massive. Lagos will make more money and the prosperity of Lagos will even expand. That is what I see. That is my own takeaway from all of what Shettima is saying.
And in addition to that, one thing that impressed me about him is also that he spoke extempore. And everything is said points out at a man who has looked at the success of Lagos and is already picturing it that, look, this success can be transferred into the larger Nigeria. That, look, Lagos, you cannot only monopolize this success. Let us also nationalize it. And in doing that, we have a situation where if this happens, we believe that this magic will also be transferred to the national level. Because with people like Shettima and the other people working behind the scene, when people talk about, leadership is not that you are the one doing it.
Yes, you don't have to physically do it.
Exactly. Leadership is just identifying talents and say that, okay, you do this, you do that, and then you sit back and watch them do it. And when they do it well, who gets the credit? It is the leadership.
Yes.
So that is what we are talking about here. It is that leadership that is to be provided at that level that will bring the change. Not exactly...
Mikel Arteta does not go into the field to play for us. But they are beating people now based on this leadership.
So
sustainable strategy.
That's the strategy we talk about.
Our time is fast spent. Olaika Regule, thank you for your contribution today.